Greetings, my beloved. I am that I am, Ekara. That energy which is a part of you at all given times. An energy that no longer and has never defined itself as based on something that has a beginning, a middle and an end, but an energy that is free. An energy that just flows from one place to the other and back again in an infinity circle, an infinity sign that continuously reinvents itself. I am called by many names and by many different functions. One of those functions that has popped up in the past is King of the New Lemuria. But once we use the word king in your language, it tends to put up a specific energy field that brings you in a negative spiral. And before we continue tonight, before I and my companions that are here with me continue tonight, I would like to again explain to you the concept of king, the concept of president, and the concept of all these other things, all these other government functions based on the New Lemurian energy. For you see, when you look at the word king here, in this reality, in this time and in this space that you inhabit, you think of a person who is above everyone else. You think of a person who is governing everyone else. And you might wonder if this governing that is going on is based on freedom, is based on love, and is based on joy. Most of the time, in this era at least, it is based on something which is not in the best interest for all people. When we use the word king, it means a sovereign type of servant, a servant to the people. Someone who translates the energy of all the akaneic cells combined as one, bringing them in, and making sure that the highest good for everyone is achieved. So let this be known, that you are all kings and queens at the same time. You have no real sex, no real gender, you have no real age, you have no real names, you have no real limits to the bodies that you sit in. You are all one. You are all linked together. And when you look at another person, this is just an illusion of your senses telling you that you are sitting opposite someone else, while really you are just looking into the eyes of another aspect of yourself. Of course you know all of this, but we just wanted to remind you before we continued with the message today that we want to bring you today. And this is quite interesting. For as we have told you, as Adamus Saint Germain has told you last time, you are entering into an area of free energy. And this has to do with that which you call the photonic belt. This is a universal phenomenon. It is a universal phenomena of light. A place in this galaxy that has been created by the consciousness of all that is, of all that exists, really. And this photonic belt is now completely immersing planet Earth and most of the parts of this galaxy that you sit in right now, or at least that you believe to be sitting in right now. So with this free energy that is now part of all that is part of your very heart, your very core, it is different than ever before, the type of message that we need to bring in. For you see, our messenger, the one that we communicate with at mostly every single moment of time, he usually asks us, and she usually asks us, what is the message going to be about tonight? What are you going to be talking about tonight? What kind of information? And can I just have a little glimpse inside so that my nerves may be put at ease, so that everything can blend together a little bit and I can prepare myself? Well, usually we gave in to this request. We usually said, yes, of course, this is the summary of the things that are going to be said. And sometimes we tended to change the things that were going to be said at the moment of speaking. But to us, to all of us, not just me, but to all of us, things have changed as well. We too can be more free now than ever before. We have again the freedom of connecting with all of you at the time of speaking. And not the way that used to be in the past. We used to just look at your lives, the things that were going on in your lives, and we were with you a couple of hours beforehand, you see. We were blending with you already. Now there is no such thing. There is no such blending going on. For how can blending occur in that which you call the past? This is what you often do. You do it with your schedules. You do it with the people you are going to meet. In any instance. Be it during a meeting, be it during a gathering of friends where you just go for drinks and good conversation. Once you get into your car, or you get onto your bike, or you get onto your feet to go towards the meeting that you might have, you have a tendency of already creating an image of how things are going to be like. You create the image because you have been taught to create the image. Image, by the way, is a very important term in an old age, is it not? Image is everything. Face is everything. Because if you lose face, then you lose a specific image. This is how things used to be run, but no longer. Can you imagine what it would be like to completely let go of all types of expectation? And we are not just talking about a meeting in general, when you go to meet some friends, or when you go into what you call today a business meeting. Of course you create a predefined set of parameters. You create a predefined image of what you hope to find. This has always been the way. It has always been the case. And you have even been taught that this is power. That preparing yourselves for things to come is intelligent. Well, it is indeed intelligent, but it is not conscious. Consciousness cannot exist where predefinition has already set in, you see. Consciousness doesn't work that way. Awareness doesn't work that way. So we were talking about expectations. And let's look at some of the expectations that you have at any given day. It starts right when you open your eyes. And even mere seconds or minutes in some cases before you open your eyes in the morning. You expect to wake up in the same body that you went to sleep in. You expect to wake up in the same bed that you went to sleep in. You expect to wake up in the same set of parameters that you were in before you closed your eyes, before you went to bed, before you went to rest. Now, this is indeed a very dualistic approach to a resting period. To myself, for instance, when I close my eyes, if I would have eyes, when I close my day, if I would have such a concept as a day, when I go into my period of rest, I use this rest in a different way than you are using it, and most of you are using it today. For you see, most of the earth, when it goes into a resting period, goes into an unconscious state. And this unconscious state is preferred for it is called the dreaming state. And you like the dreaming state because sometimes, most of the time at least, good dreams pop up. They pop into your field of experience that you call the night, that you call the dream. And things are rehashed there. Things that you have experienced are rehashed there, are processed, so to speak. Now, what would it be like if you could do this in a different way? If you could use a period of rest, which, as some of you were speaking about yesterday, doesn't need to include a set of 8 or 10 or 12 hours? What if you can use a period of rest to completely undefine yourself again? Would you know what liberty this would bring to you? What freedom? What else is joy about? What else is love about than letting go of definition? And if you really love yourselves, then this is something that you could think about before the day ends, before you go to sleep in several hours from now, probably. Again, imagine what it would be like. Imagine what it would be like to say goodbye to the illusion of form you have been in just hours ago. You do have the potential for this. You have the possibility of waking up in any form you like, any place of the earth, or even beyond the earth if you so seek, that you like when a new day comes. It's a difficult concept to grasp, probably, and it sounds a lot like science fiction, but it is not science, and it is not fiction. It is truth. It is universal freedom. It is understanding that you are a creator. It is understanding that you are part of consciousness that can place itself at any given point in the timeline, at any given point in the space field where you see fit. And this, of course, takes you out of society. This, of course, takes you out of all the rules you have been living in. And this is the reason why people are not doing that today. You should take a very good look at yourselves, Imzaia. You should take a very good look at what you are saying, the things that you are saying, the things that you are believing in, and then what you are putting into practice. Are you really putting all these things in practice? Are you really living truly, completely, fully from a state of universal love, universal joy, and universal freedom? Just think back. Think back to a couple of hours ago. That which you have called a day. Do you really do this? Or do you think about doing it? And do you try putting it into practice? Well, you are all now going into the end of the 999 portal. And this means that an old way of life is over. And a new way of life is just merely beginning. It's just at the brink, really. And this means you're going to have to redefine yourselves, undefine yourselves, more so than ever before. As the one who was speaking before was just telling you, you are the light worker. You are that aspect of consciousness that is here on this planet Earth to shift everything, to make known the unknown, to let see what cannot be seen, to let feel that which cannot be felt if you are in a predefined set of parameters. And you know everything. You know all the knowledge by now. You have, in some cases, you have been listening to channels and you have been reading books for so many years. But do you truly practice what you preach? Do you truly put it into action? Or, in the back of your mind, every single day, are there questions? Is there fear, financial fear? Fear of being alone? Fear of being left behind? Fear of death? Fear of so many different things. And yes, without any type of judgment, I can say that once we look at your energy, we see this in the back of most people's minds every single day. And it starts at this concept. It starts at the concept of day itself. You have been looking at the Gregorian calendar just before when you were listening to the one who was speaking at that point, and you still define your existence going from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday to Sunday, and then you start the whole charade all over up again. Why do you do this? I know some of you that are here tonight are not doing that. But just look at the people around you then. Why are you doing this? Why are you creating this type of timeline for yourselves? Because you think you have no other way, you have no other option? You are wrong. You do have other ways. You do have other options. If you were just to look at the animals on planet Earth, for instance, if you were just to look at other life that is surrounding you, you would see that most of them do not think, do not exist within a predefined set of days. All they do, all that animals, most animals, dolphins, if you can call these animals, all they do really is exist, experience, and enhance the energy that they are in at that given moment. And this is the same path that you are all on. Try not to look at the experiences that you have as a linear continuation, one right after the other. But try putting it completely loose from everything else you have experienced before that time. And this again brings you back to the concept that we started out with, expectation. What are you expecting from the next moment? What are you expecting from the current moment? What are you expecting from your body? What are you expecting from the people around you? And most of all, what are you expecting from yourself? You so many times put yourself in, I can only say it as it is, in a prison. You put yourself in a prison, and in that prison you try to find freedom. You can't. If you're going to let go, Imzaia, if you're going to let go, energy weavers, enlightened seekers, then let go all the way. That's the only thing that we can say. Let go all the way. Don't expect the next moment to happen. Don't expect the others to be a specific type of way. I'm just looking at one person, for instance. This is a person called Brenda. And when I look at Brenda, or when I think of Brenda, I don't define Brenda before I see her. The messenger might do this, others might do this, but when I run into Brenda, I open myself up for all the different potentials that she might carry, all the different ways that she might look. And sometimes when I'm walking in nature, and I love to just materialize my body and walk somewhere in nature, sometimes Brenda to me will be a flower that I see. Sometimes she will be a wave on the ocean, or she will be a cloud that is passing by. And I will see Brenda, and I will look at her, and I will have wonderful conversations with that cloud that at that moment is her. If you do this, then you take yourselves out of a timeline, out of a predefined set of expectations. Sometimes you will find Brenda in your heart, and the conversation that you might have with this person in your heart could be more real than when you run into the actual body 5 minutes after that. And the body is going through a lot of problems. She's trying to find a good place to sleep, for instance, or she is trying to find the next place where money will come from, or she is going through drama. And I'm not really talking about you, my dear. I'm just using you as an example, of course. Although, no. And this works for everyone. Sometimes the actual running in that you might have with the body can be less real than the actual conversation or the actual exchange that you have with the energy of a person when you are not seeing them. And this will change your entire perspective on life. This will change your entire expectation of life. For if this is true, then there need be no fear when people around you die, when they leave their body state, their material state, and they die. You can still run into your great-great-great-grandmother as you are passing a beautiful tree somewhere along your path. You can run into a person you've never met in the flesh before. When you are sitting somewhere enjoying a drink, the experience of the taste of a drink might bring you in touch with someone you have never met before, and you might not even meet. This is a truly defined, non-defined way of looking at reality. And if you let go of that type of expectation, that a person can only be there when you run into him or her, and that they will have the same appearance as the last time that you have seen them, and that they might be still working with the same process that they were as you last saw them. If you let go of that type of expectation, soon you will find that the same thing starts happening for yourself. What would it be like if you run into yourself as a cloud? If you run into yourself as just a couple of grains of sand that are being reflected by the sun, forming a beautiful pattern of geometry on the beach? What would it be like, and some of you know this, if you run into yourself in dolphin form, for instance? For this is what you are doing continuously anyway. You are constantly running into yourself. You are with what? About 15 to 20 people here right now? So there's 20 versions of you sitting all around you. And it doesn't just end there. The chair you are sitting in is a version of you. The sound of the crickets and the other animals outside is a version of you. The stars, the beautiful, beautiful stars, it is a version of you. It is a part of you. But not just a part as your hand would be a part of you. It is an expression of you. But you have been taught to believe in expectations. And unfortunately you have been taught to believe in a limited set of expectations. Expectations that you were taught to believe so that others could have power over you. You expect the day to run into a certain way, to go in a certain direction. And you put these expectations in your calendars and in your diaries and in your schedules. And you think you are leading happy lives when you can say, oh, next week Monday it's completely filled out, it's completely booked up. No, I only have time to see you maybe next Wednesday. Yeah, I can fit you in somewhere there. Do you really think this makes for a good life? Do you really think this makes for a happy life? This makes for a life of a creator? It even is in your Bible. God created the day and the earth in 7 days. Oh, really? You are God, and you are creating the day right now. And right now. And right now. You are not even creating days. That would be defined, would it not? You are merely creating moments of the now. Now, if you let go of those expectations that you have been trained to believe in, then those moments of the now could shift dramatically. New ways can open up for you at any given point. Yes.
I have an expectation.
What is your expectation, my friend?
Only one. Enjoy the moments of the experience of life.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only expectation I still have.
Mm-hmm.
And I will always have that one. Enjoy the moment of the experience of life.
Why do you need to expect that?
Well, not really expect, but the way you are talking about expectations, that is, no, it is. It simply is.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
There you go.
You're right.
It's no expectation.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a truth.
Yeah.
It's a given.
Yeah. Indeed. Indeed.
But the point you are bringing up is a very good point. A couple of talks ago, we said that energy tends to raise itself naturally, and basically, if you want to have an expectation, that is the only one that you need to have. That energy raises itself naturally. For now, we are touching on a very interesting point indeed. If you really look to the people around you, people that your mind is still telling you are separate from you, you will see that many people today, in the last few days, and in the coming days, and in the coming weeks even, and in the coming months, will go into a different state of experience than you are in. You will see that those people who believe they are the strongest will end up in a spiral that is actually not going up, but that is going down. Only they don't see it is going down. Now, what do you think you should do about such a thing? What do you think you should do when you meet a person who thinks they are on an evolutionary path up, and you see that basically they are going down, but they don't realize it yet? What should you do? Anyone want to answer that question?
Just be in your energy.
Mm-hmm. And what is your energy?
When you are in your hearts, and just be yourself, and then maybe you can turn them. Or
okay.
Maybe you can affect them.
What are you affecting?
Their vibration.
Is there a there and a your?
No.
So what can you do? If you are running into someone else, and there is a trick for the mind already. If you are running into someone that you see going down the spiral instead of up, aren't you just running into a version of you at that given point?
Yeah.
So what would you do with your energy then? At that point?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes?
I would change my reality, my illusion of that projectedness, to just be present.
Yeah.
And not take on whatever it is that they're emulating,
Mm-hmm.
passing on. Just sort of look at it and smile.
Yeah. And you would change that person's reality too, for it is a part of you. Always. This is one of the most important things happening on the planet today. This is why you are experiencing the planet today, and you should always remember this. Many people here on this earth still believe in separation, so they are living their lives in separation. But each and every one is connected to this divine source, to this divine spark that we have been talking about. Each and every one is basically just part of the whole, of the one. There is no separation. So, why did you come to the planet today? Maybe you just came here to shine. You just came here to be radiant, to be the highest aspect of you that you can be. For if you really understood what was just said, then that is all you need to do. If you are in the highest vibration, then the things around you emulating will also shift. You want to say something?
Yeah, I see it more as a matter of balance.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in balance, then you can affect the world around you and get them also into balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. And yeah, the more you evolve in a way, in a way, you get more balanced into more dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another way of seeing it.
It is true what you are saying, but still you are, if you listen to yourself, you still make a difference between who you are and who the other one is. And this is very difficult, for this is constantly what the mind is doing. It is constantly trying to make you believe that you are separate from anything else. So be very careful, even when these words are now being translated into English. This energy is being translated into English. I find that I am limiting myself. I am limiting what I actually am just because of the language, which talks about I's and you's and we's, you know? And this is very interesting. Just a little while ago we were talking about the Lemurian language. Well, there are no I's and you's and we's in the Lemurian language. There is no difference there between what you are experiencing and what I, as you, am experiencing. You see the difficulty that we already have going here in the language itself? And this is what is meant when a child is born. It has no grammar. Grammar is a predefined set of building blocks by which you can supposedly create any given sentence. That is what scholars are telling you. That your language or your languages are actually better than the language of bees, for instance. For bees just use a predefined set of movement and the speed in which they are flying, so that they can actually communicate where to get to the honey. And then the human mind kicks in, and the human mind says, we are so much better. We have defined a set of building blocks that is just based on sounds. And with these defined sets of sounds, we can create any word, we can create any sentence. We can express to each other everything. But a child, you see, doesn't need to do that. Every single child that is born on the planet Earth is born in what we are calling telepathy. And this is not telepathy. Telepathy is communication of the energy of words. Telepathy is based on empathy. It is based on transmitting feeling, transmitting what you are feeling within the heart. Each and every child has this. Now, I know it would sound cruel, but if you were to put young children that are just born on an island, for instance, for about 10 years, and you would make sure they are being fed and everything so that they are being taken care of, you would see that these children do not evolve, do not create a language to communicate to one another. Each child is born with the ability to immediately transmit a feeling from one heart to the other. This is the state where humanity will eventually end up in. It is where everybody is going into again. It is happening again, fortunately. And this is why last time Adamus was talking about the Akenet. You see? For this is a space beyond words. It is based on what Kutumi had been calling for a very long time, the non-sensic field. It is a space beyond words. It is a space beyond concepts, even, where you can just transmit the now. And this is what it is all about. transmitting the now from one aspect of you to the other aspect of you creates a field of tension in which a reality can be created. And if you look at yourself and the other person that way, and there will be no more friction, for you are just transmitting your experience to your experience and back again. And if then there is a different opinion, a different point of view, all you would think is, wow, this is interesting. Look what I'm thinking now. You know, you are talking to, for instance, you want to do a project, and there's two people sitting at a table. And these two people want to go about the project in a totally different way, as many of you have, of course, experienced. Then you could create drama. You could create a fight. You could even create tension between yourselves. And you could say, I can't work with this person. I have to go. I have to get out of this room. Or you could sit across that table and just think, isn't this interesting, what I'm projecting back towards myself? Why would I do this? Could it be possible that if there is just a way to marry both points of view, that a third, a neutral one, could be created that is higher in energy than the one you were actually starting out with, and the other one, which is also you, was starting out with? And this again brings us back to expectation. It again brings us back to, what are you truly expecting? There's only one expectation you can ever have, and that is that energy tends to raise itself naturally. I said it before, and I will say it again. So in any situation that you are finding yourselves in, dear Imzaia, just use this principle, and you will always see it will carry you home. It will carry you to a state of consciousness, and eventually into a state of awareness. Now tonight's Ekara is very different than the other ones that we have previously done. It is not just about introducing new concepts. It is not about introducing information about the akineic cell. It is not about the akinet. It is not about the difference between the layer of experience and the layer of the mind and the layer of consciousness and the layer of awareness and the tachyon photonic fields that are in between, all that technical thinking. That's not where we're going to go today. Today, we're just going to go to the simplicity of it all. And the simplicity of it all is just about letting go of expectation and knowing that you are constantly projecting yourself all around you. That is all you really need to know at this point, especially once you are going into the next 3 months. The next 3 months that are going to be very confrontational to most people on this planet. Just try in the coming moments, once this is over, once this conversation between all of us and all of our energies is over, just try to look at things in this way for just 1 hour. Oh, your mind will trick yourself. Your mind will trick you into believing that what you are doing is impossible, for it will drive you crazy. And yes, maybe it will. Maybe it will drive the mind crazy. Do you realize that the mind is a unique system unto itself? The mind manufactures itself in such a way that that which is your biggest fear always creates a shield around everything that you are believing in. Your entire predefined set of parameters is defended by a shield of that which is your biggest fear in the illusion of form. Think about this. If you run into your greatest fear, all the mind wants to do is run away very hard, so that it is not being confronted by this fear, so that the fear cannot be opened up And in it, you can find the energy of love. The mind wants to run away from that which it is most afraid of. And if you do that, you will never evolve. You will always be stuck in the same type of reasoning over and over and over again. And maybe over a couple of years, you will develop that which is called the spiritual mind. The spiritual mind which believes it is consciousness, which believes it is truth, which believes it is grandness. But truly, really truly, it is not. It is just polarity. It is just duality, pretending to be beyond duality. And this is a state that a lot of people are going to go in the coming 3 months. And I'm just saying this to you. The next 3 months, you're going to run into yourselves like never before. And you'll see this in the supposed other people around you. That you will be confronted with great fears. That you will be confronted with old ways of thinking versus new ways of being. And these old ways of thinking will try to bind you in images, in metaphors that I can even begin to describe. It is happening already to many, many people. But it is a natural process. Letting go of expectations is a way out of this, is a way to cope with the coming months, is a way to cope with illusions that have been like a house around you that is now crumbling, that is now starting to crumble and fall apart. And at first, it will be fear. For what if the house collapses on you, on top of you? And what happens to all the stuff that you have been collecting, all the thoughts, all the parameters, all the belief systems that you have been collecting? They are like objects in your house that you are loving. They are like your DVDs and like your cell phones and like your television sets and like your, I don't know, $20,000 couch or whatever. These are your belief systems. And they are pretty darn comfortable to the mind. Expectations feed those belief systems into continuously exist in your reality. Letting go of those, and I know I'm repeating myself, but I can repeat myself all night, for this is pretty important. Letting go of those is the key to universal freedom. You will see as the illusions of your life start to fall away, the first of which is always form. The first state you will get into is universal freedom. Although you will think you are non-free, you are unfree. And why is this so? Because the belief system will tell you you are unfree. You see the point I am trying to get to? You see why? Or is that difficult for you? I am just speaking from a perspective of old Lemurian energy and new Lemurian energy being bound together into that which is called free energy. So the belief system will bind you into believing you are unfree, while truly what is happening is you are becoming free. You know what a liberty it is to let go of stuff, to let go of the things around you, to let go, and when I say let go of stuff, I also mean let go of the expectations that are around you. For it is one thing to let go of your own expectations, but what do you do with those other people around you that are expectations of you, basically, that are expecting things from you? What I'm trying to do here is not build up a way of reasoning, for this is free energy tonight. What I'm trying to do here is bring you into a frame of mind where you will have several thought processes kick in later in the night. Thought processes that might be the key to liberating yourself from the way you have been living up until now. This will continue to happen. What we will begin to do now, as Adamus has said so himself, is set up a series of classes, a series of interactive moments, so to speak, where we will specifically, in the coming 3 months, where we will specifically assist you in trying to let go of expectations, trying to let go of belief systems. And we will work with things that have been coming in, exercises that have been coming in from before. We will also use the theories that you have now been accustomed to. But it is all about letting go of the old ways and joining free energy, new ways of existence. And you can do this in the coming 3 months. It doesn't take any longer than that. Actually, you can do it like right now. But still, because most of the earth is in a specific timeline, you will think you need time to do this. So there you go, we give you time, 3 months. You can do it in 3 months. Those who are brave enough can maybe do it in a second, or in a heartbeat, or in the blink of an eye. But this is what we will be assisting you with in the coming time. Let go of the old belief systems, let go of all the expectations, and do this in a very practical way. It is partly what your seminar will be about, that will be happening come tomorrow or the day after. So tonight was not about setting up a theory. Tonight was just about opening up a space for that which is to come. It is a new space. It is a free space. It is a space where classes will not be taught like they are being taught right now, like me at this given time, speaking most of the time and others listening. You will be invited to get into interdimensional interactivity. And this means that the classes won't just be taking place at specific points in time, they will be ongoing. You will see that these gatherings will only be about exactly that, gathering, bringing together the experiences of that which you have been going through just moments before or days before. They will be points of rest and reflection. And after that, the class will continue. It will last for about 3 months, you will see. And it will show up everywhere in your lives if you just want that to happen. And this, dear Imzaia, dear Lightworker, dear Energy Weaver, is my highest hope for all of you sitting here right now and listening to this at a later point in time. That you will use the coming 3 months to set yourselves free, so that your 1st of January 2008 will be the last 1st of January you will ever have to experience. You have no idea how limiting it is to you to put yourself in your own schedule, to put yourself in your own timeline. And even those who think, and this is just what I'm trying to say, even those who think they are living without schedules, they are living without their how do you call it, notebook or Google agenda, or how you are calling it these days, pretty close by. Even those who think they are not bound by all of these things, you are. For is there any single day where you don't ask yourself, what day are we today? Is this Monday or Friday? Is this the 2nd of September or the 29th of September? Oh, excuse me, could you tell me the time? Oh, I have to run, I have to catch my bus, or whatever. Or I have to catch my meeting, or whatever. Even though you are not using schedules, you are still in a timeline. And the next 3 months will be about getting you out of all of that. Expect that your energy will tend to raise itself naturally. And that by the end of these 3 months, this spiral, this upward spiral. You will be in a point of awareness, so that when the 111 portal comes along, you will have a period of about a month where you can actually graft onto the existing matrix an undefined new way of existence. So basically this is where all of the work, all of the information, all of the things you have been going through has been leading to. Dare to look at it this way. Dare to look at the fact that that which has been happening to planet Earth is now over. You see, when this messenger tried to ask us in the course of the day, what is the message going to be about? We just simply said 3 words: how dare you? What we meant is several different things. First of which, how dare you define this energy beforehand? But also the second one is in a more positive way. How dare you do this? How dare you exist in an old paradigm when the new paradigm is already here, is already born within and all around you? And also letting go of syntax just a little bit. How dare you do this? Find ways of doing this. And then there will come a time, the beginning of next year, and maybe even sooner if you so seek, that you will look at your governments, that you will look at the rules that you need to live by, that you are forced, excuse us, that you are forced to live by. And that you will look at the sheriff or the park ranger or whomever wants to push you out of your space when you are just enjoying a meditation. And that you will just stand up once you are being given a fine because you are doing something that is not by the rules. Or that once you enter into an airport and someone goes through your entire bag and through your entire energy field as though you are a criminal. And all you will need to do is stand up and say, how dare you? Let me go. I do not believe in your system. And if you do that, maybe you will end up in jail for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, but my belief system, dear Imzaia, is that your jails will be pretty darn full in just a couple of weeks. That's all you need to do. Just stand up and say, how dare you? Leave me alone. I understand that you are a part of me and that you are representing the old energy I was in, but no longer. I am free now, and I thank you for the way you are reflecting my old rules back to me, but this is over. I do no longer believe in your system. And my expectations is that my energy and your energy will just raise itself naturally. And then you just maybe take their head, give them a little kiss on the cheek or on the lips, and you will whisper in their ear and you say, welcome into the new planet Earth. And either then you get locked up, or you just walk away with a smile on your face, leaving the other reflection of you, representing old energy, very stunned indeed. And this is all that we wanted to share with you tonight. So now, Imzaia, I ask you to let go of all expectations even more so than before, to open up your hearts, to go to your Ake net, as was discussed by Adamus Saint Germain just a few days ago, and let this energy of these words, or rather the energy behind these words, become free again. So let the words disintegrate yet again, all the words that you have been listening to tonight. And then as this blend of freedom, love, and joy now becomes part of the whole again, let yourself become part of this whole. And open yourself up to let go of expectations. Take this energy that you have been present in and use it to create the following moment without a predefined set of who you are, who you were, and who you can be. This was Ekara, King of the New Lemuria, speaking to you from all my love, all my joy, and all my freedom unto you. And so it is.